Okay, welcome to Wednesday night interviews with the basement door. This week we have got the Fractured. So welcome, Fractured. How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
thanks. Yeah.
Pretty good, yeah.
Do you want to introduce yourself by your name and what you do in the band? That'd be helpful for our viewers.
Cool, yeah. I mean, shall I go first?
Yeah, go on.
Cool, yeah, so I'm Dan. Hi. I play guitar and I sing in Fractured. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Jimmy. I play bass, sometimes sing, in the Fractured as well. Yeah.
I'm Elias, and I play the drums in the Fractured.
Cool. Yeah, so
Cool.
good. So we last saw you before our dreaded COVID-19 lockdown at the Battle of the Bands, and you're in the finals, guys. Well done.
Yeah.
And I remember, is it as much of a surprise to you tonight as it was on that night? Because you didn't seem to know that you got through to the finals.
I think we were downstairs in the dressing rooms, like while it was being announced. We had no idea.
Yeah, we just,
It was quite a
It was-
cool
it was
reaction. It was
surreal.
pretty good. Yeah, really like that. It's good, man. So yeah, we're still obviously we're waiting to go into the finals and do the finals when we can. You know, when it's sort of not just when it's safe to, but we want to actually let you have rehearsal time together and let the thing build a little bit and make sure that that we can have lots of people gather together and do moshing rather than lots of people gather together
Yeah,
2 meters apart or 1 meter apart, which will make it awkward. So we're going to wait and do it get the right timing and get this finals done properly. You know, get it really nice, and hopefully it won't be next year. Hopefully it'll be this year sometime.
Yeah,
So
nice.
cool. So
Yeah,
tell
go
us a
ahead.
little bit. Tell us a little bit about the Fractured. So we've seen you. You played with the Basement Door a couple of times as well. It's not the only time in the Battle of the Bands, but you played with us a couple of times before. What would you describe your sort of genre as? What sort of style do you play?
Cool, that's a tricky one. We've had a big debate recently about that. So, I mean, I don't know, Jimmy, do you want to, Elias? I'm stumped, but
We kind of came to garage rock, like modern garage rock, but not really sure.
Still finding out. Still finding out. That's cool.
yeah. I mean, just exploring it.
Yeah.
We've like come through like a bit of our sort of career where we kind of a lot of our new songs are much more different to our old ones. So it's just about sort of finding what that is like in terms of like a genre rather than just like a whole mash of lots of different things, which is okay as well.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it's cool. We get to experiment with stuff.
yeah.
I mean, if we have to, we can always just create our own.
Yeah. I mean, I think the lot of thing is like when you discover your sound. I mean, it's so hard. I think it's harder nowadays than it was sort of say 20, 30 years ago when new sort of genres were evolving and popping up. And now it seems like all the genres are filled, and there's someone that's done something across. So you've got to find a unique sound for a band is really hard. But I think the way around that is to, if you're going to do blues, then play banging blues, solid, really good banging blues, or you're going to play rock, make sure it's, that you're all really tight on the band and do it like that. So I think, even though the genres are sort of filled, if you do find that that's what you're comfortable playing, then you can sort of really just perfect it and just really go for it. So
Yeah, for sure. Just like, you got to find somewhere in the edges of the main genres to slip into, I guess.
Yeah. I think most main genres have kind of fallen into a stereotype now as well. They've all kind of just like melded into what everyone expects them to be. So it's quite hard falling into one of those if you do something different. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. Let's ask them. So I'm going to ask you all individually. So Jimmy, how long have you been playing guitar?
I think about 6 or 7 years. I think, give or take. Not really sure.
Cool.
Yeah, guitar about 6 or 7 years. Bass about 5, 6 years, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you prefer bass to guitar or?
I don't know. I think I switched to bass because we couldn't find a bassist.
Okay.
And now I kind of fit in for guitar anyway. So with a lot of pedals. So yeah, it's
Cool.
yeah, it's kind of a mixture of two. Yeah.
And I see you got sort of 3 guitars up on them. What's your favourite guitar there?
Yeah, I don't know. I got this Strat recently, which is quite nice. It's just like it's a Mexican deluxe Strat, which is pretty cool. It's got like a little extra to combine two of the pickups that wouldn't
Mexican
normally
sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how that sort of Fender and that went down to Mexico and produced the cheaper guitars, you know, the workforce and that. It happens all over the world, doesn't it, with stuff like that? But yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool, man. So Dan, so how long have you been playing guitar and singing?
Oof. I guess, yeah. I mean, similar to Jimmy, I guess like 6 years, because we kind of started at the same time and then just kind of formed a band because of it, I guess. Yeah, like 5 6 years.
That's
I
cool.
think we formed a band before we knew how to play, though, didn't we? Like,
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And what about you, Elias? What's your
Well, exactly the same. We basically just like we're like, okay, we're gonna be in this band, but I guess we'll have to actually start learning an instrument. So that's basically how it went. Yeah.
cool?
Yeah.
So the band's been going then. Leads me into that. Your band's been going about 6 7 years then, and
Yeah, a long
Yeah.
time.
I can't remember. I don't know how many years this is, but it was year 5 when we started.
Yeah.
Wow.
The primary school, yeah. It's kind of mad.
That's cool. That's really good. And you're still together as like, you know, and you're obviously quite good friends and that as well, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we've had lineup changes, but us three have always been the same. So,
Yeah.
and I think we all prefer it that way. So it's all, yeah.
3-piece is good because you can sort of like, you can go anywhere, do anything. It's like you haven't got that extra person to worry about, you know? It's like, but if you need to bring people in, I suppose you can say, "Oh, just come and join us for a gig and everything," if you want to add a little bit of an extra sound on somewhere. But yeah, I think 3-piece is pretty cool. I think it's quite nice. you know,
Yeah.
And loads of bands have done it in the past, you know, that's like and stuff like that. So cool, man. So let's ask you a question about one of our we ask these particular questions of the bands. So bucket list person to play with. We'll start with Elias, then go Dan, then Jimmy. So someone either dead, like past, or present. Who would you dearly love to be on stage with?
Okay. So if someone was asking for a drummer, I think it would have to be. This is a hard question. I think probably either maybe Royal Blood. I have to say, like, there's just a lot of fun, like doing their tracks. It's not exactly like the stuff that I play just like instinctively, but I would have a lot of fun being in Royal Blood, but also I would have a lot of fun in something like Snarky Puppy. Not saying like I'm as good as the Snarky Puppy drummer, but that's like a dream. That would be amazing to play with all of those people.
Yeah.
In a big collective. So yeah,
Cool.
either one.
It's good. Okay, Dan, what about you?
Man, oh yeah, that is a tough question. I think I'll probably say, I mean, I've been listening to BB King a lot recently.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and I'm just like, I'm really getting into that kind of just like simple but amazing like blues. It's just so incredible. So I think, yeah, and he's an amazing player. So yeah, it had to be BB King.
Yeah, that's good, man. I think blues, for me, you can listen to all these great blues players, but listening to blues live, you just can't beat it. It's absolutely amazing to listen to it live. It just has something so soulful about it, and it's just like really stirs your emotions up. It's really cool, blues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy, Dan.
Yeah. I don't know. I think another one, a bit like Elias, I think Royal Blood would be great because it's kind of getting the weird sounds out of the bass with the effects pedals again. It's just that same kind of thing that I do, and they kind of got me into that. But then if I'm thinking about guitar, then I don't know, maybe someone like Slow Dive or My Bloody Valentine would be quite fun because it's the same sort of idea, you know, like loads of different sounds from pedals.
Yeah. It's amazing how the bass has come on that way, isn't it? We had what was the guy's name? He was I think he's an Italian guy came down. He's one of the best bassists in the world, and he came down to a showcase for us, like a work thing for us at Basement Door quite a few years ago now.
Is he
go on.
like, is it Pino Palladino or something like that?
Yeah, that's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's John Mayer's bassist. He's amazing. But yeah.
Oh no, I know him, Pino. Yeah, yeah, I know he's actually back home now. Which he lives in this area. So yeah, I know him. Yeah, he's pretty cool. But this is another guy, similar sort of sounding Italian type name. But he played sort of a Spanish flamenco bass, and it was incredible, really incredible. But he's created a lot of bass riffs in his career. And a lot of the people that play bass riffs are his bass riffs that he's created, over the time. So yeah, it's fantastic seeing it. I should put a video clip of it up sometime.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Cool. So okay, that's one question. It takes a while to get one question done, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean they're hard questions. So.
Yeah. So we'll ease up on those. We'll have a little bit of fun in between them and that, So, what have you been doing in lockdown, and keep it clean?
Well, I mean, we've kind of made a little bubble, us three. So we've basically been recording. We were recording our new song last week. So we were doing that for a couple of days, and we've been practicing quite a lot as well. And yeah, I'm just trying out the new studio and everything.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, I've just been at home or seeing my friends in a park or something. I'm getting through
distance.
it. Yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. It's like, I mean, I think I've been lucky. I've been working at the Richmond Food Bank, so I've been absolutely working like, many hours every day, with a few select people. But it's kept my mind busy, and I think that's one of the things that people are sort of like might be struggling with, keeping their mind healthy,
Yeah, I mean, you're trapped in your own head for all the time, pretty much. So
yeah. And has your social media time sort of just gone off the scale, or are you maintaining a sort of,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's been pretty much. Yeah, if I'm not playing guitar or something like that, I'll be on my phone. So it's quite it's a bad habit.
Yeah, it's quite tough, isn't it? Yeah, I know that I even with doing what I'm doing, I'm on the phone a lot more than I was before lockdown. Because it's just the way, there's so many people to communicate with, and it's usually, you go and see them and meet them and everything, but just can't do that at the moment. So, so we hope it's going to end at some point very soon, and we can get on with stuff. That'd be good. So should we go and listen to your listen to one of your songs? Which song do you want to do? Which song are we going to listen to?
Well, if you wanted I was thinking maybe the version of Desert Hymn, our new song that we performed the other day for a charity live stream. I mean, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, why don't we? Or we could do Weird World. I don't know.
It depends if you want like an actual already recorded, like proper Spotify version, or like just a live version.
Yeah. So, well, I think if we have a good quality one, then people can actually hear a good quality version of your song, rather than, we don't want to put sort of like, make them think, oh, this band's not that good. It's like, you are a good band.
Let's do Weird World then. Can we do Weird World?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Weird World. Okay, now we decided that. Let's go and have a listen to Weird World from The Fractured. Back in 2 secs.
Always something different, but you didn't get it. Nothing will ever change. Why don't you just forget it?
Okay, so that's Weird World by The Fractured. Yeah, so you guys are connected with a club called, I don't know if I call it a club, called No ID.
Yeah.
And do you wanna tell us a little bit about No ID? Because I think it's sort of similar to the Basement Door, isn't it? And it's sort of a youth music.
Yeah, it's very similar. I guess one of the main differences is like the kind of area what we sort of like mainly target. So we've kind of most of the people that come to No ID are kind of from like Southeast London, and you guys have got like more of like the Kingston-y, like
Southwest.
yeah, Southwest East London. So,
Yeah. So it seems like a really good thing. I mean, it's like the more of these things that pop up, because our original, when we started Basement Door 12 years ago, one of our original ideas was to copy the model in other areas,
yeah,
and just so that, because we hear that young people in all different areas around London just don't have anywhere to play and don't have anywhere to go, and it's like, and the more youth clubs have been shutting down over that time, you're thinking it's needed, it's needed to give these young people somewhere to be,
yeah. Other than their school hall.
Yeah, yeah. It must be all right playing at school hall, but actually to play what feels like more of a gig,
Yeah, exactly.
proper.
Yeah. It feels. And actually, that's the thing I really like about No ID that I think Elias has done really well. Is that it's all super like you feel like you're just rocking up to a gig that you're playing. Like it's so much fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've nailed that.
It's good. I need to get down there when I got a time off and sort it out. And when are your gigs on there? So they were on before lockdown. They were on Fridays or Saturday nights or
Sunday. We do Sunday.
Sundays. That's awesome because I can do Sundays. I can come down on Sunday
Yeah.
because obviously Basement Door's busy usually on a Friday or a Saturday, so I can come down on Sunday. Good, cool. Okay, so another question, right? This is one of our stock questions we're going to ask you. If you had a pet snail, what would you call it? Let's go with Jimmy first, and then Dan, and then Elias.
Right. Well,
It has to be original because we've had quite a few bands doing this. So if you come up with something that's already been said, I'll tell you. We just go, you have to do it again.
I think Kevin would be quite a funny name.
Hey! Kevin the Snail. Okay. You've obviously seen me walking from one side of the thing to the other, haven't you? Dan, what would you call it? Hey?
Oof. Oh, mate. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe like Stew or something. I don't know. Stew the Snail.
Stew the Snail, yeah.
Yeah.
I've immediately got.
Not very original, but
yeah, that's cool. Stew. That's good. It depends if you were French, they might think, oh, delicacy. Stewed snail. Anyway.
yeah.
Oh, Dad's coming out and jokes at me. Right, okay, Elias.
I don't know why, but I call it Elton.
Elton.
Yeah,
Nice,
Elton.
okay. That's 3 more original names for snails. Okay, so so Kevin, Stu, and Elton. That's brilliant. Okay, all right. Now we've got another question for you, and probably another hard one because it's like these get a bit sort of when you have to think back to sort of stuff you've done and that. Best gig you've ever been to?
Been to. Okay. Yeah. Well, shall I go first?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Basically, best gig I've ever been to has got to be. It's got to be somewhere at Brixton. Probably the Blossoms. And only because they I don't know why, but they just completely captured the whole academy, and it was just like a really atmospheric and amazing gig that, yeah, you just felt amazing when you were there, and it was really good. And yeah, I don't know why, but I think that the Brixton Academy just like makes everything so much better because you always have like a really good view of the stage, and it's not too big, but it's not too small.
Yeah.
And you can go there when you're 8, which is when I first went. So yeah, probably.
Okay, Blossoms. I'm surprised the Blossoms haven't really. They're not massively up there, are they? I mean, they're well-known bands.
Yeah, they're kind of.
But they haven't sort of like. I don't think they've peaked yet. Is that
No.
Is that right? Don't they peaked? I'm not sure. Anyway. Okay, Jimmy, what's the best gig you've been to?
I think probably the one I remember the most kind of vividly is Roy Blood at Ali Pali, because at the time I went, I think it was year 9. I was obsessed with them and like really trying to figure out how we got those sounds from the bass and everything, and just seeing them live was it was just a really energetic gig, and like really just.
Yeah, it's cool. So I'm just imagining you going to sort of like when you're going to see a band that someone like that's got like the bass thing going on, whatever, and then are you actually enjoying the gig, or are you watching and seeing what he's doing with the bass? So what's he doing, man? I want to find out. Yeah. Half and half.
Probably.
Cool. All right. So Dan, best gig you've been to then?
Oh, well, I mean, one of the actually more recent gigs I went to, because I haven't been to any in a while. Last year I was at Love Supreme Festival, like it was just like a jazz festival, like near Brighton, and I saw Snarky Puppy there. I was only there for a day, but yeah, I saw Snarky Puppy with a bunch of friends, and like it was, and we were like right up against the barriers, just right in the middle, so we had like the best view of the band. Yeah, it was incredible, which is like funky. Yeah, it was insane. Really good gig.
Cool, man. Good. Okay, right. Easier question for you now, guys. Who's the best dancer in the band?
The best dancer?
Yeah.
I mean, this is no question. It's probably me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
Agreed.
Elias does have got some killer moves.
It's turning out to be a bit of a theme that the drummers seem to be the ones that are the best dancers. A lot of bands, the drummer is the best dancer in the band. Might just be because they got the feet with rhythm and that going on, And
yeah, they're well coordinated, so it makes sense.
Yeah, unlike us lot who just
playing around with the party.
Cool. Right. So, who's most likely to forget about coming to a rehearsal or be late for a rehearsal?
That'd probably be me.
Yeah, well, poor Jimmy. But to be fair, I mean, it's getting better at the moment. It used to be really bad.
Yeah, it used to be awful. Yeah. What have we got about today? Oh, sorry, forgot.
All right, and now who's got the biggest feet in the band?
I'm size 10. Or Dan's size 10.
I've got 9.5.
So I guess it's a tie.
Joint 10. Joint tie. Okay, cool. Good. So you've just, I think have you just done a back to the music? Have you done a single recently that you've recorded and put out there, or is it not out yet?
Well,
Oblivion, is it?
We're recording our new song at the moment, which should be like Well, yeah, and we've got a couple of other songs to record like lined up. So yeah, we've just had a bit of a sort of break from releasing at the moment. Well, our last EP was released like last Christmas. So yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think we've been, rather than recording, we've done a couple of live streams, been doing that kind of stuff, just trying to practice, because obviously we haven't, like, although we've been playing together for a little bit, like now, before there was like a good couple of months where we didn't see each other, so it was kind of we're all a bit rusty and just trying to get our feet back.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard for a band, isn't it? Sort of why we're doing these interview things, because it's like not a lot of the bands have been able to get together. So we thought, well, actually, we've got to feature the bands, because that's that's the whole thing about Basement Door and that. So we have the acoustic artists on the Saturdays playing because it's solitary, but actually when we have the bands, we think, oh, we must get the bands in somehow. So this was the best way to find out a little bit more about the bands and to get your name out there a bit more with our guys as well. So yeah, it's cool. Good. This has been fun. So we might end it in a minute, but we just want to. How's everyone's hair doing? I mean,
Well, you can see I'm hiding mine over a hoodie.
Have you done a self cut?
Yeah, I have. Well, actually, my dad cut my hair a little bit, and he's actually not done a bad job. But at the start of lockdown, my mum basically like attacked my head with a pair of scissors, and it was horrendous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm growing it out a little bit now, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that has changed the most.
Yeah, I mean, up until recently, I literally couldn't see because my fringe was like down here.
Oh, really?
But my mum gave it a trim yesterday, so
cool.
I can, it's all good now.
Ready for the interview.
Quite liking it. Yeah. But before then, just hair everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you remember me having my long hair and everything, and I had it all cut off before lockdown, and it was like, but it was getting silly, and I think when your hair goes grey like this, and you have this sort of like, and you have to tighten a bun at the back, it just looks like a rabbit's tail behind you. It's like this little puffy white thing behind.
Yeah.
So every time I saw a photograph of me with that, I was like, I don't like the look. So I thought I'd go back to having it short again. So yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, look, guys, we're going to see you in the Battle of the Bands final.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be pretty massive. I think it's going to be lots of people coming and do that. And we'll obviously, as soon as we set a date for it, we're going to let all the finalists know the date, and then you can get together and practice your songs and whatever you're going to do and stuff, and we'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep doing what you're doing, and we'll put some links up for the band and for your EPs and stuff, and No ID and everything that you're doing.
Yeah, awesome.
It's really cool. So it'd be really good to. Yeah, and I'll get down there one day and see some other bands, because we've seen quite a few of the bands playing at your place and ours. So yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, so it's good to meet you guys, and we shall see you all again soon. And just keep us tagged in anything you're releasing, and we'll promote it for you on our site as well. All right?
Yeah, awesome.
Well,
thanks so much, man.
Okay, man.
Have a good one.
Cheers. Okay, guys, welcome to the Wednesday interviews with the bands. The second band we've got on tonight is the wonderful Stereotype. Welcome, Stereotype.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing? Right, so do you want to just name yourselves and tell us what you do in the band?
I'm Amber. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Will. I play bass.
I'm Rachel and I play the drums.
Cool, good stuff. Okay, right. So where do we start with an interview with Stereotype, the wonderful Stereotype?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of Stereotype questions now, but
It's your side of the bargain.
Yeah.
You've got to ask the question.
Maybe you ask questions and then you answer them about Stereotype.
Well, you
to see if you know what we answer.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let me get my phone out. I didn't even know your ages at one point, did I? So we did. We did the Battle of the Bands.
15.
Sorry?
I've turned 15.
You're 15 now. Okay, you'd still be in the limit though, I think, in the junior category.
Well, the thing is, like with the categories, me and Rachel are both 16 now.
Okay.
So would we still be junior, or would we have to be bumped up?
Well, you wouldn't be bumped up now because when you entered the competition, you were in the junior section, so you'll still be
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
junior section for the thing. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that to you. We'll explain
Moves
to
around
the
again.
viewing public at the
B60.
moment that actually you did Battle of the Bands early this year, and at the end of it, I realised you were in the wrong category. You were in the senior category, and I talked to the judges, and we decided to put you through because it wasn't fair to not have you going through as you performed. And you performed in competition with the senior bands, so that wasn't fair. So we put you through anyway. So yeah, so we have an extra band in the Battle of the Bands final, whenever that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
I really hope it's soon.
December.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
when
Don't say
all
that.
the rules will get a
Don't
second
say
spike,
that.
and then they'll be like,
No, stop.
they won't
It'll be
lift the rules like they
Christmas.
have done now.
God,
It'll be a big
God.
Christmas gig, and we'll make sure everyone brings a present.
Yeah, Kev.
Yeah, all for Kev.
All for Kev.
Yeah.
Kev
Reverse Santa.
reverse Santa, yeah.
Reverse
They should
it.
do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be great. Cool. So, how have you been doing in lockdown? What have you been up to? Have you been active or have you been dormant? What have you been doing?
I think Phil, I don't know, he sleeps in till like 12 o'clock, and I've already done all my
Yes.
schoolwork because I still have to do it because of GCSEs. Like, and then everyone who doesn't have to do them keeps saying like, "What's a GCSE?" And it keeps irritating me because I'm like, I'm so stressed.
This is like some pent up anger I did not know about.
Why?
It's all
I've
coming
talked
out
about
now.
it a lot, but maybe just not with you. You would just like making fun of me and be like, "Yeah, well, what is a GCSE?" No, I've had to do school and then carrying on with my instruments and stuff. So I think I've been pretty active. I've gone outside, kind of. Like I have to go back to school tomorrow. But that's kind of it. Not too
Yeah.
active.
No, not too active. No. And what about you, Rachel? What have you been doing in lockdown?
Well, not much really.
Oh my God.
I've moved my drums into the shed so I can play more. Because
Okay.
otherwise my parents are on calls, so I'm in the shed now. And then I've just been learning how to edit more so we can do more covers apart. But apart from that, it's been pretty boring, not gonna lie.
Like all their days just kind of merge into one, and I have to keep track
Yeah.
of it.
Beauty of it.
That's not beauty.
That's the beauty
It's
of it.
That's the
beautiful.
beauty for you, not for me.
It's been a bit. I think the beginning of it was quite sort of like it was quite weird. And I live on my own, so it's like I've got my flat and I live on my own, so I'm used to being on my own at night. But then there were times when I was thinking, oh wow, I can't even if I wanted to go and see someone, I can't. And that was the beauty of
Yeah.
before when I was like, yeah, I'm okay with my own company, but if I want to go and see someone, I can. And now this has happened and I couldn't do it. So yeah, I just had to get used to it really. But
You could get a cat.
Yeah.
huh?
You can get a cat.
I so thought about getting a cat. I so thought about, but I live up on one floor, so I'd be worried it would jump out the window. And
Oh no.
so I
It
don't
has
know.
9 lives.
Do it 9 times.
9 lives. It's doing it 9 times. And it's like attach a parachute to it, you know? So in case it ever wants to do that, it'll just glide down.
So okay.
Yeah, but like just in case it doesn't.
Okay.
In case it doesn't.
But the trouble is with that, I'd have to train it to pack its parachute up again, and I don't think a cat would be bothered. I don't think
I don't
a
think
cat
that
would
would-
do that.
Lockdown's going to be lasting for quite a long time. I think you'll have enough time to think how to repack a parachute.
I think a
a
dog,
really
dog might
important
find it
thing.
fun and interesting, but a cat would just be like, why?
Yeah.
I'm here
Why
now,
am I
why?
doing this? Just let me jump.
Yeah, I don't really like cats. I mean, I don't mind cats, but I love dogs.
Yeah, I think I'm more of a dog person, but I think I did think
Yeah.
about getting a cat or a rat or something because I quite like rats, you know. And
Ferret.
you know,
No, rats are cool.
yeah, ferrets
ferret.
smell a bit though, don't they?
Karate.
That's what I said. I wanted to get a rat, and I would name it Karate. I think that was. I'm not allowed to get
No.
one.
Well, that leads us very nicely onto our little question that we have for the bands, which is if you had a pet snail, what would you call it? Let's do Rachel first, then Will, and then Amber. A pet snail, what would you call it? And if you give an answer that's already been given, then I'll bleep you and you'll have to do another one. And we've had quite
I'm
a
gonna
lot
go
of
with-
answers.
I'm gonna go
Oh.
with Glenjamin.
Yes.
It's one of my
I'm
favourite things.
amazed that we've not had one replica of a name for a snail yet, and all these bands we've done. That's amazing. Glenjamin.
Glenjamin.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Glenjamin, right.
Perfect.
Will, what's your name for a pet snail, mate?
It's such a random question.
That's good.
Why don't you know? Have you not been thinking about
Things are in my head what I would name my pets.
Yeah.
I have to do like a really. I think it'd be really funny if I did a really suburban name, like Connor, like
It's
Connor.
suburban.
Connor.
Like I tell you, it just makes me laugh.
What, Connor?
Like,
Connor the snail.
Connor, the like Clive. Is that
Yes,
Clive's
Clive the
good.
snail.
Clive's good. Let's go
That's
with
a
Clive.
good one.
Stick with
Yeah.
Clive.
Good
Benjamin
one.
and Clive. Right, Amber, you'll go because you've obviously been thinking
Name
about it.
my head was Susan, and I just thought, why not? You know, like I would never name
Alliteration.
that because Susan's not the best name, but for a snail,
Amber, just straight up.
Okay. So
I don't. It's
It's
not.
just gonna be on the internet for the rest of your life. You were saying that. thing
No,
before.
like it's not that I don't like the name Susan, but I would never name my child Susan. That's why I don't name a snail Susan.
Amber's like Susan's.
Susan.
No, that's not true. I don't know any
Susanist.
Susans. You know, I'm not gonna like
I know a
Susan.
few Susans. I'll let them know about this interview and they can watch.
Some of that was speed.
There
but
was
I'm pretty
funny
sure.
today. There was a Facebook thing today that someone said if you had a daughter that's just been born, and you've got to name her using the first 3 letters of your dad's name and the last 2 letters of your name. And for me, that means Ronin, which is like a really cool name.
That is you actually.
Oh my god, mine would be Stuba.
Stuba.
like Stuba, but Stuba.
It's not as good as Ronin, though, is it? Ronin's an actual name.
Rob
It's
come
like
on.
Ronin is cool,
Ninja.
but
Rob
Ronin
Jewel, that is a
has-
solid name.
So
cool.
that's true.
But it's cool.
I mean, okay, bad guys can be cool. Yeah, fair enough. But I don't like Ronin as a bad guy. I'll give it to Loki and Fan.
Okay.
Loki's the best bad guy.
Right. Okay. So we're going to ask you. I've had this theory with this next question, so we need to blow it out of the water or make it real. Who's the best dancer in the band? Rachel.
Okay, you ready to see my
Yes,
amazing
look at my
dance?
arms.
Rachel's having a go.
Go. That's so cool.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't know how to dance. Yes, I am the best dancer. Rachel, you
Okay.
need to like step up.
I need to up
Yeah,
my
you can do it
game.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
Amber's
I
definitely
am
the best.
dancing for the both of them.
I'm not bothering.
You know? Yeah, well, I have seen you dance, so
But it's not great.
it,
Like no one enjoys
I enjoy it because I just laugh at you. You know,
Oh, that's so lovely.
it's good for me.
Mhm.
It's good. We better just
Entertainment.
explain to everybody that Will and Amber are brother and sister. So
yeah.
so that
Yeah,
everybody
you need
knows. 'Cause,
2 meters apart.
2 meters
Go
Have I got to
away.
leave?
back.
Go away.
Is it this 2 meters apart?
No,
not
Further.
far enough.
No.
that is 2 meters, but I just want you further away.
Whoa, roasted.
Closer.
So
No, I gotta come back for the interview.
Well,
good.
do you?
Yeah, just me and Amber. We don't need Will.
That'd be
How
so
can we
mean.
not?
Just
That'd
the
be-
girls.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I would.
Girls go. And maybe it's like
Right, so I suppose it's hard to sort of say without ganging up on Rachel to say like, is anyone ever late for rehearsal? It's like 'cause you two are going to be together.
yeah,
Only
I actually no.
She's got to
And
be the one that's late.
well, actually, that's Rachel right. I
Damn,
realise I have to actually do some things before we actually start band practice.
Yeah.
So I am the last one upstairs.
You're always
Okay.
watching TV like just before.
Yeah, because
yeah,
that's
that is true.
when she arrives.
I'm just sitting by the door like waiting.
Like I wouldn't want to stop my work. You're just
It
sitting
depends.
with your
Just
ear
like
on me.
just twiddling my thumbs, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I am the latest one.
Yeah.
It's like-
I mean,
Okay.
it depends what mode of transport I take.
yeah, that is,
Oh, okay, let's
bus,
have your mode of
cycle.
transport then. So what have you got? What's the mode of transport then,
Well,
Rachel?
Normally, I take the bus. Sometimes I'll take our cycle, and then every now and then my parents will drop me off if I'm really running late.
Okay,
'Cause I do run late quite a lot. Not gonna lie.
okay.
yeah,
Alright,
you probably
listen.
just like realize the time.
It's kind of early on a Saturday.
11 o'clock. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not too bad because I wake up before that and I still go to bed like
Well, I
pretty
woke up.
late at like 12 o'clock or something.
I was woken up at 11 today. It wasn't nice.
Ooh, no.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't know.
He fell asleep like at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I needed a nap.
Well, that naps
Yes,
are
I
okay. I
respect.
do naps. Yeah, I do naps.
I was
He turned into
tired.
an old man.
Men do
I worked
naps.
hard that day.
Like, but like, what's actually done to work hard? Because I work hard every day.
Like,
Oh,
Okay, let's
Do you
stop
see
there.
that?
Let's stop there for a
I
minute.
no
That's
response.
working
I
hard.
did a lot of things, okay, that I don't have to list ever.
Cool.
Ever, okay.
Right, we're gonna now go and listen to one of your songs that you've done. So we're gonna listen to that and then come back to the second part of the interview. So which song are we gonna listen to, guys?
So we listened to Moonlight. We wrote it a while ago before lockdown happened, and then we thought it'd be a really good idea if we like recorded it separately, and then Rachel's amazing editing skills can come together, and and we've just been putting it on our social media. But yeah, this is really cool.
Okay, let's go and listen to Moonlight, and we'll be right back.
Moonlight shining on my face, I'm losing sight of all the things I had to do while I was alive. Where am I now? Well, I think I'm dead. Oh, I've forgotten what I was before this happened. What am I? Pale faces left with me in the shadows. See how ironic I can be if I don't know who I am or what I've done. Please tell me what I did to deserve this. Long face, solemn, love-held, hardened, smart girl, cute face, not wrong for you. Smoky waters don't give in, but I see it all, I see it all. Not life, haunting me to fight the good fight, but I don't know what I do for the love of a man who wouldn't do the right thing. See, I can't remember. Do you think I'll ever know what I am? Long face, tall arms, love held, hardened, smart girl, cute face, not wrong for you. Smoky waters don't give in, but I see it all, I see it all. Moonlight shining on my face, I'm losing sight of all the things I had to do while I was alive. Where am I now? Well, I think I'm dead. Oh, I forgot what I was before this happened. What am I? Long face, tall arms, love held, hardened, smart girl, cute face, not wrong for you. Smoky water
there we go. So that's Moonlight by Stereotype, and we're gonna put a link into that as well, and then also link in the band as well. So what haven't we talked about? It's like, well, you lot have talked a lot. Well, actually, Amber's talked a lot.
Because I am so talkative. I
That's what she
basically
does.
fill everyone else's silence with just like complete crap. You know,
Yeah.
like anything that's just in my head, I just say it without even thinking.
Yeah,
That's how you get by. Otherwise, it would be like awkward silence all the time. Do you want me to stop
Yeah.
talking? Do we see what this will like be like?
Well, I'm just going to be quiet for a minute and just let you ramble on.
Go on.
Keep going, get it all out. Get
It's
it
the
all out.
Amber show.
Basically, it. I don't think I can actually like stop speaking for so long. I think the most I've done it is 13 minutes.
That's your max.
Yeah. Well, maybe like when I'm on TV, but I still speak at the TV.
Of course
Like,
you
I
I'm
do
like,
that.
oh my god, don't do that. What are you doing with your life? You know, like that's the kind of
Amber-
thing I communicate.
Amber's mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am completely mentally stable.
So yeah, having peace and quiet then is obviously not a thing that's around you, is it? So
Yeah, no, Will, like, I think he gets really bored of me. Well, not bored. You just
What?
kind of get like, whenever I'm talking, sometimes you're just like, shut up.
No, I zone out.
You zone
I-
out, obviously. Wait, who says shut up?
I
don't know.
filter
Someone
it.
says that.
I like to filter it.
So
you
we're
know?
speaking at the dinner table, and then I say
What
something
noise?
important, and then later, Will doesn't tell me anything. Like, I'm like, Will, do you want to have this or this? And he goes, yes. And I'm like, oh my god, that's no. He just zones out all the time.
that's
Yeah.
just the typical response when someone hasn't listened. Yes.
Yeah, just yes. It's safer.
Guys, listen, so let's talk about let's get some questions done. Let's talk about banquet. Bucket list person to play with, past or present. Let's do let's do Rachel, Will, and then Amber. So bucket list person to play with. Who would you love to?
I mean, I'd have to go with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, just because they were like yeah, I stole your just because they were like the first rock band I ever properly listened to, and they're just all amazing artists, and they have great stage presence. So I would look less dead when I play, because they would make me smile. You see, it would be a great mix.
You can just like run around the stage and do whatever the frick you want, you know, like
Turn into Flea, just like
I think you'd be really busy if you're playing with Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't think you wouldn't be idle for any
No.
time at all.
moving
like-
around all
Yeah.
the time.
full roast and then not gain any calories. Like that would basically be it.
Be good, wouldn't it?
That's the best form of exercise.
Yeah. Will,
Indeed.
who's your bucket list?
So I was gonna go for the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I don't want to be boring. It's already took that. So there's this amazing bassist who says like it's really important for beginners to play with pros. Like you were talking about that earlier, Kev, and I'm pretty sure he said it in like a TED interview or something.
You breathe in their presence.
Mm.
Well, it's more like you
Soak
just
it in.
Yeah, you breathe it
That's-
in.
I guess that's kind of it, where you just kind of experience how they're playing and you kind of
Pick up from that.
slowly put it into your
Because they're
music.
much better than you, so then you're like
Yeah,
stepping up.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting to see Victor Wooten. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Amber?
Okay, not gonna lie, I was literally thinking of Red Hot Chili Peppers as my first band, but then I changed it
Oh, we love them.
for Jimi Hendrix because he is just utterly amazing. I love him so much, and he's very cool. I could learn a thing or two from him.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. And I think it's like he's basically one of these naturally gifted, effortless guitar players. I've seen a few, but there's there are. I think it was Eric Clapton that was Jimmy came on stage and he asked him to come and do something, and Eric Clapton refused to go back on stage after because he said, "I just can't. After that, I can't
compete."
play." And I think I'm sure it was Eric Clapton that said that, and it was like for someone like Eric Clapton to say it, it's like
Yeah.
man must have been
That's mad.
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but there are, you do see these people like, you see drummers and musicians of all different types that are just, they're just immersed in the thing. It's just like there's no effort in what they're doing. It's just like, it's part of them, completely part of them. I love seeing that. It's really cool. Good. Okay. Right. So we done that. Done that. Done that. Have we done the pet snail? We've done the pet
I
snail.
think
We did do
Oh
that.
yeah, that was yeah.
five.
So another question that we need to ask you then before we go on to the thing. We've done the band. We've done that. I'm floundering at the moment. It's like because you just chatting away so much.
You should keep a record of all your questions.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, I do have them, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to open my phone up and look at them. But I'm going to have to. Because I've
It's all right. We won't look, so it
been
doesn't happen.
distracted. It's been funny listening to you, but it's distracting me from my job. And now I can't even find. I found the questions for the band. Here you go. Best answer who's late. Yeah, we've answered all those, I think. Where to play? Where would you play? So as a band, venue in the world or festival? What's the ultimate goal?
Glastonbury.
That's
That'd be
just
awesome.
it for you.
Yeah,
Just
like
that.
I would happily play at any other like big stadium, like Wembley, but
Anywhere.
Glastonbury, like the festivals. That'd be really nice.
I mean, right now it's kind of anywhere.
Yeah,
I will
that's true.
literally play
But like
anywhere.
in the future,
But not even in the future. Even after like quarantine's over, I still just want to play anywhere.
yeah, just keep
Anywhere
playing
that
as well.
will have us. you
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
Well, we'll always have you. I think you're great fun, so we'll always have you at Basement Door, and I'm sure there's plenty of other places. Yeah, so it's cool. So yeah, Glastonbury's a great thing. I mean, it was years ago that I went, and it's obviously got bigger. Reading's got bigger everywhere, and there seems to be festivals all over the place. However, this this
Not
freaking
this year.
horrible virus thing, it's like I'm just hoping it's not going to be a recurring thing each year.
Oh my god,
And
imagine.
we can
Hopefully.
get it under control and stuff. I mean, the guy today from I can't remember what his name is now, from Glastonbury, the organizer, the guys that own the farm and everything. They were saying how sort of like they might be, if it doesn't go ahead next year, they might be bankrupt. And it's like I find that probably hard to believe that they
Yeah,
must be in millions, but it's
it's
like,
so big. Like you wouldn't expect that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know how much these artists, to get an artist on stage, I don't know what the contracts are, how much they charge.
I mean, we'll play.
Yeah, definitely.
We will play for free.
And I'm sure there's going to be bands that want to play there just for the kudos to say I played at Glastonbury and everything, but they're more up and coming bands where I think sort of like, it's just really difficult to understand how that could not be profitable for 50 years and then suddenly they get 1 or 2 seasons and bang, it can be gone. That's
crazy.
Probably bad money management, I would think, if that's the case.
Throwing it out, wow.
Anyway, so we're looking at sort of like getting back to doing gigs as soon as we possibly can, but making it safe. We've even thought about doing a driving gig, which is like, but it's just trying to find a location where it's
yeah, I can't think of anywhere else.
They're doing like drive-in movies as well.
Yeah. Well, I've thought of a couple of places, but I need to talk to the people concerned, and I think it needs to be somewhere that's enclosed because you can't have people sort of like looking through a gate or that's open or an open field or sneaking in somehow. You can't have that sort of interaction. You've got to make it sort of an enclosed space somewhere. So yeah.
And then a band, like if they're not siblings and they have to kind of like stay far away.
Yeah, we'll have to get a bigger stage, won't we? Sort of like, make sure we've got a really big stage.
It's really spread out.
Sit to the drum. You just like stay far apart from Rachel.
That's fine.
Rachel, coronavirus.
Ew.
Ew.
Yeah. And I think it's also about you sort of like handling with what we do with the mics. Obviously, the mics are a very important thing in doing that. If you're having 2 or 3 bands on, you've got to disinfect or change the mic heads. Luckily, before lockdown, I brought a load of coloured heads for the mics that we've got. So I've got loads of them ready to go, all different colours. So you sort of say when someone's sung, we can just take that off and then quick wipe over the mic, and the next person comes and put a new cover over it, and then it's like really nice. Yeah. So they're really cool.
Gonna ask for it.
No, but I was just saying if you have that because I like red.
Red.
Yeah.
We've got red. Yeah, we got red. I think we've got 2 or 3 red ones, so that'd be all right. Yeah, it's good. Guys, listen, it's been really good fun. And thank you for doing this. We appreciate it. We're up for anyone that's watching if they want to give a donation to the Basement Door, because we want to keep going. And obviously we've had no money coming in apart from donations from all you lovely people. So we want to keep that going in, and then we'll be doing. We've got a gig on Saturday with Bella D'Amano and Apple Sershi and Connor Patterson. So yeah, so that should be a good one as well. Saturday night, 8 o'clock on our YouTube.
Yeah.
Do
it.
Huh?
Do it.
We're making you do it.
Yes.
What's the door? You have no choice.
Yeah, that's good. So listen, we'll link everything into this thing for about the band and all that and everything. It's really lovely to see you guys, and we hope to see you back soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Let's wave goodbye. See you soon, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.